Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are jumping headfirst into the magical and pretty dangerous world of Prythian to break down the epic fantasy novel, A Court of Thorns and Roses. We're talking magic, we're talking curses, and a love story that literally defies death itself. So let's get into it.
So, you've probably seen this book around, right? It's everywhere. But whether you're a diehard fan or you've never even heard of it, don't worry. We're going to break down the entire plot from page 1 all the way to the end. And we're treating it like a complete standalone story. No spoilers for anything that comes after, I promise.
So picture this. Our story starts in a really tough spot. We're in the mortal world, and it is bleak. Just surviving day to day is a constant struggle.
And this is where we meet our hero, Feyre. She's 19 years old, and she's basically the only thing standing between her family and starvation.
So let's talk about Feyre's world. Life is not great. She's living in this tiny, poor village with her dad, who's crippled, and her two older sisters, who honestly aren't much help. On top of all that, she's stuck with this deathbed promise she made to her mom to keep them all together. They live right up against this magical wall. And on the other side, that's Prythian, the land of the Fae, these immortal, powerful, and terrifying beings that everyone's afraid of. Okay, so it's the middle of a brutal winter. Feyre's out hunting, desperate for food, when she spots a doe. But then, something else appears, a massive, massive wolf, and her gut just screams at her, this is not a normal animal. She suspects it's a Fae, so she makes a split-second decision, a choice that's going to change her life forever. She uses one of her very few, very expensive ash arrows, a weapon designed to be lethal to these immortals, and she takes the shot.
And yeah, that choice, it comes back to haunt her. Big time. A monstrous, beast-like creature shows up at her family's little cottage, and he confirms her worst fear. The wolf she killed was a Fae. And, according to this ancient treaty between their two peoples, there's only one price for that. A life for a life.
So that's it. Faye has to leave everything she's ever known, cross that magical wall into the Faelands, and spend the rest of her life as a prisoner in this beast's castle.
Now let's get a lay of the land, shall we? Prythian is divided up into 7 different courts. Think of them like kingdoms, each ruled by a super-powerful High Lord. And Feyre finds herself taken to the one at the very bottom of the map, the Spring Court. And the Spring Court? Well, it's a real head-scratcher. On the one hand, it's this gorgeous, lush estate. I mean, opulent halls, food everywhere. It's beautiful. But on the other hand, it's silent, eerily quiet. There's this feeling of dread just hanging in the air. It's a beautiful prison. And the weirdest part, everyone there, every single Fae, is wearing a mask they literally cannot take off.
So who's behind the mask? Well, her captor, the Beast, is actually Tamlin, the High Lord of the Spring Court himself. And he, along with his kind of snarky friend Lucian, tells Feyre they're all suffering from something called the Blight. It's this magical sickness that's been draining their powers and, you guessed it, forced them to wear these masks for, get this, almost 50 years. Okay, so months go by, and slowly but surely, Feyre's hate for Tamlin starts to change. It actually turns into love. But right when she's about to tell him how she feels, he does something totally unexpected. He sends her back home, back to the human world. He tells her it's for her own safety, that this blight is getting worse, and Prythian is just too dangerous.
But when she gets home, things are different. Her family is suddenly well off. Turns out Tamlin took care of them. But Feyre, she's absolutely miserable without him. She can't take it, so she decides to go back. Only, when she finally makes it back to the Spring Court, it's a disaster. The place is in ruins and completely empty.
And this is where we get the big twist. The Blight? It was never real. The whole thing was a lie. What's really going on is a curse, put on them 49 years ago by a truly nasty Fae queen named Amarantha. And the only way to break it, a human girl who had killed a Fae, that's Feyre, had to fall in love with Tamlin. So when Tamlin sent Feyre away, he wasn't protecting her from some disease. He was trying to save her from Amarantha, even if it meant he and his whole court were doomed. Wow. So, time's up. The curse's deadline has passed, and Amarantha has dragged Tamlin and everyone from the Spring Court to her own personal hellscape, a place called Under the Mountain.
And what does Feyre do? This mortal girl, completely out of her depth, marches right in there to save the man she loves. Amarantha finds this hilarious, of course, and offers her a deal. A really twisted one. She tells Feyre, complete 3 impossible tasks, and I'll let them all go. But if you fail, you're mine.
So Amarantha comes up with these 3 horrifying trials, each one designed to break Feyre in body and spirit. Task 1, survive a fight with a giant, terrifying monster called the Midgard worm. Task 2, solve a riddle on a wall while, being tortured. And task 3, maybe the worst of all, kill 3 innocent Fae.
Okay, so that first task, it does not go well. Faye survives, but her arm is basically destroyed. She's dying. And that's when she gets help from a very unexpected source, Recent. He's the super powerful, super feared High Lord of the Night Court, and he's basically been Amarantha's plaything for years. He saves her, heals her arm completely, but there's a catch. Of course there is. He makes his own deal with her. He'll save her life, but in exchange, she has to spend 1 week every month with him for the rest of her life.
So, we're at the third and final task. Feyre has already been through hell. She's had to kill 2 innocent hooded Fae. Now she's facing the third in an absolutely unthinkable choice.
Because Amarantha reveals her final, cruelest trick. The third innocent she has to kill is Tamlin.
Faced with this impossible choice, what does she do? She chooses love. She drops the dagger. She refuses to kill him. And Amarantha, furious, does exactly what you'd expect. She snaps Feyre's neck. And just like that, Feyre is dead.
But wait, as she's dying, she whispers something. It's the answer to that riddle from the second task, a riddle Amarantha had also posed as a separate way to break the curse. The answer is love. So get this, in the very moment she dies for love, she also speaks the word love, fulfilling the curse's conditions. It's brilliant.
And that's it. The curse shatters. Tamlin gets all his High Lord power back, like instantly, and he just obliterates Amarantha. Prythian is free. But the story's not over. In this incredible moment, all 6 of the other High Lords chip in. They combine their power and pour it into Feyre. They resurrect her. But she doesn't come back the same. She's reborn as one of them, an immortal High Fae.
So she returns to the newly restored Spring Court. She's immortal, she's free, and she's with Tamlin. But it's not a simple happy ending, right? I mean, she is forever changed by what she went through. She's haunted by the people she killed, by the bargains she made, including that one with Rhysand, now permanently marked on her skin with a tattoo.
So, what's the big takeaway here? A Court of Thorns and Roses is a story that shows us just how powerful love can be, right? It can literally change the world, break curses, but it also leaves us with this really heavy question. When you go through something that terrible, what's the real cost of survival? Feyre won a new life, and she got the guy she loves, but the story makes it pretty clear that even the biggest victories leave their scars.